Story 1, all going into a 5% account, and I am living off the $50,000 a year for life. Reinvest a little to keep up with inflation, and boom, I would travel America in a van, camp, smoke weed all day, and help dogs and good people. Story 2, I would go to some quiet and peaceful place and live out my days there, putting money in an account. I'm not old, but a lot has happened in my life, so I would just live my life in peace. Story 3, 750,000 straight into the bank because I do not care about it. Then, with the 250,000 left, I am going to give 100,000 to my parents. The rest, I am going to use 60,000 for a car, then use a few thousand to get my girl something nice, treat her to a nice meal, and take her on a trip. The rest I am using to buy myself stuff. Story 4, cry while immediately calling the center where I will finally be able to afford to send my son for speech and occupational therapy. The copays alone would be $7,000 this year. Plus, we would have to hit our son's $5,000 deductible before insurance would cover anything. America has the worst healthcare system, especially when it comes to disabilities and special needs. Story 5, fix my teeth. Find out what the building pain in my chest for 5 years now is about. Pay off my car. Help fund a working-class revolution against the billionaire ruling class. Story 6, I would pay for my wife's preoperative rehabilitation, knee replacement, and postoperative rehabilitation, buy us a house with a ramp to get in and out for her, and furnish it. The rest would be saved to pay taxes, property taxes, and so on. Story 7, 1 million what? 1 million eggs? At $3 per egg, that would make good money. 1 million moose? Run away quickly. $1 million? Pay bills, get some Panda Express, and chill. Story 8, quit my job. Buy land. Build a house for less than $20,000. Build everything I need to be completely off-grid. Cut my bills down to be as little as possible. Put the remaining amount into a high-yield savings account. Then live within my means and live off dividends. Maybe I would find ways to make money off my land, but I would wait to see if I am able to live off those dividends indefinitely first. Story 9. First, check that it was real and then sob. Second, pay debts for myself and boyfriend. Send money to some family and friends. And book a reasonable trip, then invest a chunk. Story 10. Pay off my mortgage. Bring the extended family on a holiday. Spoil my wife and kids. Go see my daughter in Australia. Draw up a bucket list of events I would love to go to. Story 11. After checking to make sure it's not an error transfer, pay my parents' debt, put some in my children's college fund, and buy a car. I might invest in a travel trailer as I'm still debating that one. Save as much as possible and invest. Story 12. Nothing. There is no way you would be allowed to keep it, and no way in this day and age you could hide it. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, Treasury Department, Internal Revenue Service, banks, state police, and local police would all be on your tail. Story 13. Decorate my flat and buy all the things I need so my daughter will come and stay. She has profound autism, so would hate the bare walls. I lost everything in a domestic violence relationship. Story 14. Well, I'm shopping for a truck camper, and I need a shed to put them in. Not to mention the house I just got. Could get all that paid off for around $530,000 or so. Story 15. Go to sleep. It may be weird, but can you imagine sleeping with this reality in mind? I'll probably never be so at peace knowing that it is still there the next morning. Story 16. Pay my medical bills and car loan, and proceed to not work overtime. Also, purchase a lot of ammunition to go to the range since I haven't been in a while, and probably get a new ammunition safe. Then, just sort of enjoy life while it lasts. Story 17. Pay off my home, go to physical therapy to get stronger, and eventually travel some. I would, of course, help my family and pay off their bills. I would spend it wisely. I would, of course, donate to Friends of Strays, a no-kill animal shelter. Plus, give money to the Animal Pound and enforce them to stop euthanasia just because a dog or cat hasn't been adopted. Story 18. Pay off my credit card, move, get my mom and sister a place, hire an accountant, finish my degree, fix my car or get a new one, buy my mom a car, pay for my medical and mental health care, and pay for my friend's procedure. On a fun note, I would buy a space to open a restaurant or a food truck, and I would buy tickets to the concerts and trips I've had to pass on. Save whatever is left as long as I can while getting my degree and being able to explore what I want and take time without having to work at the same time. Story 19. Buy hot water tank, buy fence for yard, pay tax bill, pay for special needs camp for my son, pay off car and wife's car, pay off all outstanding debt, pay for dental work I need. From that list, I might be able to manage one or two things I desperately need, but the rest aren't happening. Sucks to be alive, I guess. Story 20. If everything was squared with the Internal Revenue Service, I would pay off the debt my parents have and then pay off my mortgage. I would save a good bit for both of my sister's college funds. This would basically mean a new life for me and my family. I would start that life by giving whatever is left over to charity. Story 21. Pay off bills. Mine, my girlfriend's, my parents', my ex's. Finish the divorce, marry my girlfriend, and fix up her house. Invest some, give my daughter some, continue working but give my paycheck to those in need, and take a long vacation in Mexico. Story 22. Triple check to make sure I am not going to get sued or something, then pay off all my debt. With the rest, I do not have to worry about where my food is going to come from. Story 23. Pay off any debt if applicable. Move into a nicer apartment or consider buying a home. Determine my expected expenditures for the next year and put that in a savings account that has a good return around 5%. Take a $10,000 vacation for 2 weeks, then take 2 weeks off work. Buy a pound of flour and enjoy it with friends. Buy my friends something nice. Buy my parents something nice. Invest or save the rest. Continue living my life like nothing happened. Never worry about financial emergencies. Spoil myself here and there, and try to help others. But before I do any of that, I would talk to a financial advisor and a lawyer. Story 24. Call the bank because I'm pretty sure legally that money isn't mine, even if it accidentally got transferred to my account. After the bank, assuming I'm still not sure it's okay for me to use, I'll call my dad, who is a lawyer. After that, I don't know, savings account and look for an accountant. Story 25. A million what? If it's British pounds, I'll put it all in government bonds and live off the interest. If it's Japanese yen, then I guess I'm buying myself a second-hand car and maybe a pizza. Story 26. I am fortunate enough to be relatively debt-free. I would invest in dividend funds to have a steady income stream, then start helping friends get out of debt. Story 27. Pay off my house, spend about $100,000 doing some renovations I have been eyeing, put about $50,000 in the emergency fund I keep in a high-yield savings account, then try to use a backdoor individual retirement account to get the rest into my retirement savings. That kind of money would be life-changing but not life-altering, if that makes sense. Story 28. Clear my debts, pay my taxes, and book a 3-month vacation in a remote location with the rest. Invest in some high-interest rate dividend stocks before leaving for that 3-month trip so that when I get back, my money has started to generate new money to make up for the old money spent. Story 29. Pay off all the debts, get myself fixed up, teeth, eyes, health, real rich stuff if you live in the United States, and then give some money to my loved ones and vanish. Story 30. 1. Pay off house. 2. Continue to live my life in pretty much the same way but not stress over day-to-day expenses. Sounds boring, but this is where I am in my life. Story 31. Buy a bunch of music equipment, a bunch of cards to open with my family, and get a new car because my current one wants to be out of its misery, but it can't leave this world yet until I have money to replace it. Fix my house. Story 32. I would do nothing except call the bank and tell them. No sense in running off and being hunted like a wild animal. $1 million is not as much money as it used to be. Story 33. $75,000 to finish my basement. $50,000 to pay off my car. $25,000 for a great family vacation. 100,000 times 3 into custodial accounts for my kids. 35,000 for a new motorcycle. Invest the rest in the Standard & Poor's. Story 34. Around here, that would buy me a pretty nice house with enough left over to go into an investment account and cover the property tax and bills from the interest. Story 35. Given that it's completely without any strings attached, legal ramifications, or taxes. Buy a house in the $400,000 to $500,000 range. $100,000 for general savings and fun money. The rest in investment accounts for my son's future and our retirement. Story 36. Be confused, try to find out if it is legitimate, then check on the tax for it. Put whatever the tax bill is going to be to the side. The rest I'll pay off bills, mortgage, and put some in my kids' college fund. The rest left over, half goes to my retirement fund and the other goes toward house projects. Story 37. Hire a crew to track down people who keep asking this question. Have them steal all the batteries in your home, take your trash cans, and hide random things in places you would never think to look. Story 38. Move to the stock market and put it all in Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. If someone calls looking for the money, stall and ask for proof. When I eventually have no choice, transfer the money back and keep whatever interest you just gained. Story 39. Find the most remote part in Africa. Settle there for about 2 years. Launder the money in local casinos and artworks. Then move to Australia. Start a family, invest in Bitcoin and a couple of lesser-known cryptocurrencies. Educate the kids up to college, then go back to Africa, spend time with a couple of gold diggers, and die a legend. Story 40. Hire a lawyer, buy my wife a car, and get mine fixed. Then pay off everything that I owe. Put about $50,000 in a high-yield savings account and invest the rest in dividend stocks. Story 41. Buy a house, set up a little maintenance account, and then maximize my retirement contribution. If there was anything left, I would put it in a short-term certificate of deposit or probably start a retirement account for my son. Story 42. Buy a home so I do not have to keep living with family. Pay off my car note and student loans. The remainder I would keep in an account for my dad's needs. He has Alzheimer's and is in a nursing home. I took care of him solo 24/7 for 2 years, so my life is really messed up, though I am slowly putting it back together. Story 43. Camper van. The ultimate rejection and backup for when businesses refuse to treat me properly or compensate me appropriately for the service I provide them. The best I could buy with just $1 million at least. I'd buy it brand new with an unfinished back. I'd winterize it because I live in Canada. I'd install solar panels. I'd put one of those really comfy and expensive mattresses from the internet in it. A bucket sink attached to one of the swinging doors. An induction stove top attached to another door. Both would have legs that extend to the ground when open. A folding table stored conveniently within that I could unfold for use outside. I'd buy a small 4K monitor and one of those compact high-end gaming computers for entertainment. Probably one of those new lightweight virtual reality/augmented reality goggles as well. Not sure what I'd do for the toilet situation, but I'd figure something out. Once I have this all set up, I'd probably take a year off traveling across Canada visiting old friends and family I haven't been able to see in a while because work demands so much of my time and energy. After the year off, I'd get a better job that pays me better and operates in a respectable manner. And should they mistreat me, well, I've always got the van. Some might read this and think that I don't need $1 million for this. But I really do. I am unfortunately trapped working for a company that underpays me just enough where I can never afford to leave. It's also a lousy job in general where no one can progress their lives while working at it. Also, it would be nice to properly feed myself every day. Story 44. Pay off credit card debt, get something nice for my wife, a new computer for my kid as he wants to become a personal computer gamer, and probably save the rest. I would be tempted to upgrade my 10-year-old 1080 personal computer. Story 45. Put 1/3 in an interest-accruing annuity fund. Use 1/3 to buy as much land high up in the mountains in a state that is legal to grow marijuana. Use the last 1/3 to invest in the best grow operation you have ever laid eyes on and the best seeds and phenotypes I can imagine, and move up there and grow for the rest of my life. Story 46. Wires are like being handed cash. Lads, if someone comes asking for the money back, you can say no. Just wire it somewhere safe, don't spend it beyond gaining interest, and find out if the mob is going to break your kneecaps or not because you have no obligation to return the funds unless someone legally says you do. There is a reason scammers love using wires. Story 47. Transfer some of it to the revocable trust account that is set up for my kids. Some would go to a few different cryptocurrency exchanges. 2 commas would not sit still long enough for me to even ask questions. Basically, I would make it disappear fast, ignoring the consequences. For what it is worth, my bank has mistakenly transferred $60,000 into my account once, and I reported it. It was the teller's fault, who mistyped the account number. Am I making an immoral choice? Sure, but if someone mistakenly loses 7 figures, I am not helping them find it. Story 48. Get my bills down to monthly utilities. Buy myself something shiny. Everything that's left bolsters my 401k, and I retire a few years earlier. Between the extra in my 401k and not paying interest on the house and cars, I'd save a lot. Story 49. Call the bank immediately and report the mistake. Make sure they get it on record and ask them to fix the situation. I don't want the police involved, but if they do get involved, I want the record to show that I wasn't part of the scam, whatever the scam is. Story 50. Pay off the house and buy my wife her dream sport utility vehicle. Possibly buy my dad a motorcycle, though I am not 100% sure if he actually wants one or if it is just a long-running joke in the family. Story 51. This is a message to everyone. Please look for our Creator, Yahweh, in heaven. Don't wait until it's too late. He loves every single one of us and wants everyone to be saved. He's waiting patiently as he doesn't wish to destroy anyone. He even sent his son, Yahusha, also known as Jesus, to the earth to die for our sins. Right now, Satan is running the world, but he doesn't have much time left and is trying to bring as many people down with him as he can. Being a part of temporary worldly things isn't worth losing eternal life for. God's kingdom is coming soon, and Yahusha will return to collect his sheep. God bless everyone. I hope this reaches someone. If anyone wants to read a Bible, they have many of them on the app stores that you can download absolutely free. Unfortunately, they have taken God's name out from Bibles, but with a little research you can find his name.